Wildfires kind of bookended 2020. You had the big one down there in Australia. I bet you guys probably forgot about that with everything else that went on last year. And then you had the big one in California, went up through Oregon, went up through BC, and oh my God, there was smoke everywhere. California, and more specifically San Diego, looked like the hell in which everybody was experiencing on a daily basis. And now 2021, at least in Canada right now, it's the year of church burnings, and nobody cares. Nobody cares, and this is not starting to look a lot like what happens with the fucking Cultural Revolution in Maoist China. No, it doesn't look anything like that whatsoever. Canada has become the church-burning center of the Western world. In just a few short weeks, Canada has become the church-burning center of the Western world. Even more saddening, nobody seems to care. Yeah, really, no, they keep going up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a fucking day. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And what happens? Oh, we condemn the violence that's out there, but then at the same time, we also understand that your community is grieving and you have the right to express it. By burning down churches? Are you fucking kidding me? Shocking and unchallenged new reality that has taken hold in Canada. Early on Sunday evening, a church was set on fire in southeastern Calgary, known for its residential schools. But this terror is quickly becoming second-page news in the country. In fact, for the past week, several churches have been vandalized, burnt to the ground, have paint splashed on them, all by good white allies that should be at home feeding their cats. Oh, the only appropriate retaliation for this, okay, if they catch you in the act of burning something down, I would just allow them to continue to burn something down, preferably themselves. Hop in a vehicle, make a real bang out of it. There are currently no suspects for these arsons, and even more alarming, there is seemingly very little sympathy or care given to the vicious form of religious persecution. Yup, by trying to go after people who had nothing to fucking do with any of this stuff, okay? We don't even have any of the information, okay? Every fucking day, keep hearing more and more about this stuff, how atrocious it was, all the tragedies, all of the unmarked graves, or maybe they were marked, or maybe they were mass graves. Who fucking knows at this point? But it's a good narrative to push, so we'll go ahead and keep continuing to put it out there. And they were definitely all 100%, all of those hundreds of graves, totaling up to about 1,000 graves out there. Oh no, yeah, definitely. They were all native kids kidnapped in the dark of night and then forced to be educated with good Anglo-Saxon values. No, yeah, definitely. That was 100% what happened all the time, and don't you dare question the narrative otherwise. My patience is really running thin, especially when, in the wake of all this stuff, and as somehow of a justification, I'm burning down centuries-old statues which would have predated all of this shit, and then at the same time, the people who run this aren't millionaires. Aren't the people that were funding any of this stuff anyways way back when? Because I don't know if you've ever met with a pastor or anybody who runs a church like that in a small town or in a community. They aren't fucking millionaires. They're just trying to follow their dream, what they think their calling is. And now I guess every service is going to be Ash Wednesday. Tasteless joke, I know. Lack of respect among the largely secular Canadian society is not exclusively due to the inherent distaste for Christianity, but rather a broader story surrounding the discovery of unmarked graves on Indigenous residential schools. Yes, on May 27th of this year, unmarked graves and what believed to be the remains of 215 Indigenous children. What did you measure their skulls like those fucking eugenicists you praise would in order to determine that they're Indigenous children? The discovery was made using ground-penetrating radar technology. While residential schools are conventionally understood to have been abusive, the discovery shocked the Canadian public. Yep, and they haven't let it fucking die since. Like a kid under a school. It remains unconfirmed how the children died. Exactly. We don't fucking know. We don't know. It could have been the community fucking cemetery for all we know. But, oh, they were there and this is tragic and you should be mad and you should be outraged because of it. And go out there and buy your fucking $1.50 gas. That's per liter, by the way, which translates to about $5 per gallon. It ain't cheap. Some speculate tuberculosis to be the cause of death, as it was common at the time in the school throughout its history, has been famous for its poor conditions. While this uncomfortable piece of history is not unique to Kamloops Residential School, however, following this discovery, further investigations have been made at other residential schools, and yes, a whole bunch of other graves, which again, like I said, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that these kids died. But don't try to lump the blame on today's society. Don't try to push this divisive narrative in order to create more rage among the dissidents so that the people who are actually pulling the strings and all this kind of stuff can get away with horrendous shit at the top. These disturbing discoveries inflamed racial tensions in Canada and have now led to mass protests. Protests is a very awkward phrasing. These protests have led to the destruction of several statues, including those of Sir John A. Macdonald. No, it wasn't destroyed. It was just removed by a retarded city council who voted unanimously and clapped appropriately as they got rid of history right in front of everybody's eyes, which I will never forgive the Kingston City Council for doing. Perceived by activists as the father of residential schools because they don't understand history whatsoever, and they keep advocating for socialism and communism because they think that that'll somehow bring about the utopia. Like, you guys don't understand anything that goes on. Not just socialist or communist history, just literally anything. You're so poorly educated, it hurts. The statue was removed in Charlottetown and even in his hometown of Kingston. Oh, I didn't know about the Charlottetown one. That's cool. This is despite the fact that residential schools existed prior to John A. Macdonald. Yeah, no, but he, founding father, he bad. He made Canada. He was around when Canada was only a little bit of Ontario and a little bit of Quebec. Therefore, he had something to do with residential schools out west that he never fucking visited. Good stuff. In fact, tearing down these statues has proven to be fruitful for these activists. In seemingly every case, a municipality or powers have no intention of replacing the monuments. Yes, and they've said as much, especially when they vote to remove them unanimously. I can't believe it. Additionally, the residential school discoveries led to several Canadian cities canceling Canada Day, something that we went over and something that I will not forgive those city councils for either, because it has nothing to do with you. You good white saviors. You think that somehow placating the masses is going to make them fucking go away? And they aren't even the masses. I should have phrased that a little bit better. They are just a tiny vocal minority of people who have no fucking responsibilities, don't want to take up any responsibilities, and just want to foist their fucking warped ideology on everybody else. This is your brain on CRT. This is your brain on intersectionality, Neo-Marxism. It's all a power system, man. It's unfortunate those kids didn't go to residential schools. The shameless politicization of a tragedy is nothing new for the modern leftists. It happened in the United States. I've pointed this out when it happened to begin with, and I've also said this a long fucking time ago that Trudeau was waiting for something like this. Just waiting and salivating because he wanted that racial division all for himself so he could continue to be fucking king of Canada in perpetuity because we don't have term limits. We don't have anything that fucking approaches term limits up here in federal, provincial, or even local government. God, I want Canada to be better, but it's really fucking tough at this point to see any sort of light at the end of the tunnel. We could continue running down all the different churches that have ended up burnt, but yeah, it doesn't show any signs of slowing down anytime soon. Literally nightly, okay? Churches are vandalized or either set on fire, and it's practically encouraged at this point because, okay, yeah, this guy was a former Trudeau advisor, claims burning down churches is understandable. Gerald Butts, who resigned in the wake of which scandal for Trudeau? We'll get into it. But he was the guy who took the fall. It was for either we or SNC-Lavalin. But he was somebody who had the ear of Trudeau, so obviously this isn't too much of a reach to believe that this is what Trudeau and his inner circles also believe. Because he's been awfully silent about any of this stuff, other than just, I don't know, fucking apologizing to anybody who wants one. And then if he doesn't get there in an appropriate amount of time, he'll apologize for being late. Former top Trudeau advisor Gerald Butts tweeted on Tuesday that it may be understandable for people to burn down churches. It's never, okay? Oh, I take that back. Unless a whole host, if the entire congregation was full of murderers, rapists, and pedophiles, then feel free, just for the sake of, I don't know, saving on ammunition, just burn down the church. Okay, that'd be fine. Tweet posted in response to Postmedia's Terry Glavin implies that while the burning of churches may not be cool, that it is certainly understandable. As unmarked graves near former residential schools operated by Canadian government and the Catholic Church continued to be discovered. Its comments, however, did not line up with the residential school survivors in British Columbia who have explicitly called for the end of burning of churches. But they don't matter, okay? No, not the people who were there. No, don't listen to them. It's like in the United States. If we're going to draw those parallels, might as well continue the metaphor. It's like listening to the families of Breonna Taylor and Tamir Rice. It's like, stop burning and looting. This isn't going to help anything. What's that? Those sneakers ain't going to take themselves off the shelf. A group who spoke to Global News said the vandalism and arson that have gone rampant in Canada over the last several weeks have led to more strife and depression for those who've survived the schools. Yeah, because all of this is being done in their name. And then some of these low IQ idiots are going to think that, oh yeah, you guys caused all that problem. We should probably get them. Get the brown-skinned people. Fucking retards. We do not spread hate, we spread love. We do not destroy other people's places of religion, said Jean Allen Riley, whose mother survived residential schools. We are now asking for people that are setting these fires to stop now. We understand some people believe they're standing in solidarity with us Indigenous people as we find more graves across Canada. Burning down churches is not solidarity with us Indigenous people. First Nations National Chief Perry Bellegarde said that he could understand the frustration, anger, hurt, and the pain, but to burn things down is not our way. I don't know, the dude's got a pretty fucking hefty title. I think you should probably be listening to him. But then again, this has nothing to do with the Indigenous findings. This is just an opportunity that Marxist revolutionaries are using as means to destroy any sort of history, cultural relevance, or really society itself. Just burn it all to the ground. And you know why there's so many churches burning? Because nobody's working. Nobody's working. It's because this is the one country in the fucking world that is still acting like the sky is fucking falling, that we haven't advanced anywhere since the end of March 2020. The Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development released their latest unemployment rates across OECD countries on Wednesday, with Canada resting well above the average OECD unemployment of 6.6%. According to the latest data available, Canada's unemployment rate sits at 8.2%. Wow, that's really bad. That's not good whatsoever. Behind just Sweden, Chile, Italy, Turkey. Turkey has a better unemployment rate. Colombia, Spain, Greece, and Costa Rica. 8.2% figure represents a rise of over 2% since February of 2020, a time widely regarded as the start of the pandemic for many developed countries across the world. Mid-March. OECD notes, however, that Canada's temporary layoffs led to inflated unemployment rates. Well, if they were temporary, we're 18 months into this fucking horse shit. Shouldn't they already be filling up? Okay. You see all the stuff that Biden's putting out. Oh, yeah, we created 3 million jobs. Oh, yeah. What are all of those jobs? In the hospitality and travel industry. Oh, okay. Is that just like seasonal work and shit that probably, you know what, would normally come around after you told all of those businesses to close? And now they're finally being able to be let open, and that all of these fucking retarded governors can run around going, oh, you guys got your freedom. We really did a good job, but don't be too fucking mindful of stuff, and don't be throwing your masks away yet, because that Delta variant could be very frightening. I hate them all. And whenever the elections come around, anybody who fucking stumped for this stuff, don't let them off the hook when you're at the ballot box. Don't even think about it. Primary or vote out these fucking useless motherfuckers. However, the unemployment rate is likely to recover slightly more quickly. That's a word. And the unemployment rate fall more rapidly than other OECD average. And both are projected to return to pre-pandemic levels by early 2023. Oh, goody. We'll get back to 2029 by the time 2023 rolls around. I don't know about you guys, okay? I did pretty good in math and stuff, but I didn't take no calculus or anything super advanced in college. But 4 years is a long time. And that's a lot of lost income and wages, and a bunch of fucking burdens on society that can continue to run around unabashedly and in fact tacitly endorsed by stupid fucking governments in Canada. God, this place, man. All the fucking time. You get one good thing, like the Senate fucking striking down Bill C-10, and then you get fucking boiled holy water whenever you cross the street. And to be fair, though, I would like this unemployment rate to rise just a little bit, but only specifically in Ottawa. And very, very specifically, if we're going to get down to it, only in the Prime Minister's office. Because this criminal should not be allowed to hold a job in the government any fucking longer. Fuck you, Trudeau. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Catch y'all later.